trouble right now for Mineski. Maybe they have enough damage. Raging Potato's going to get back into the fight again. The buyback came out from the Tusker. They're looking for the opening. The Tornado just a little bit too short to reach Jirak. But Cold Snap, a beautiful ability, able to slow him down. They still need one more attack. The Snowball Fault will do it. Fada in for the Dream Call. Orbs up to the high ground. And with the Wrath of Nature, a bounce through the Dark Seer. But they cannot chase instantly into Fada. They're looking for the target, but they just can't catch him.
Holy crap, what a play from Jerix that was. I mean, there's no way. Jules is probably going to die here, but
with Cole coming in too, maybe. Oh, he missed the Sprout. Jules
got Snowball.
He's coming up to Fada. There's support here. Raging Potatoes is in the neighborhood with an Infinite Room. We might be able to stall off Mind Control. The Sunstrike Mind Control walks forward. Not even, no, he needs to walk forward. So they'll pick him up. It will be a trade-off though, so it's Jules for Mind Control.
I mean, Mineski set that up so well, right? The way that Raging Potato put himself in that position, he's like, okay, we know we have to take this fight, even if we didn't, they just got to pick up the Dark Seer. It doesn't matter, we still have to take this fight. But he positions himself so it's like he has a blink almost. I mean, Mineski set that up so well, right? The way that
maybe.
Oh,
no! The back charge and search him away!
We have to take this fight, even if we
Spectre didn't want to chase a little bit too far.
It doesn't matter, we still have to take this.
But
That
that
should have been,
one
but
shot
he
to
positions
stays
himself
alive.
so it's that should have been such a free kill again on the Spectre, but that deafening blast just turns the fight around entirely to a point where Liquid actually have a chance to be able to respond and get some counter kills and kind of saves that fight for him.
Another critical time in which he got pushed back because Matubman actually did end up going down. He doesn't have his Radiance yet. He's been sitting so close to it for a while, but he still hasn't picked up that final relic. He's now farming towards another critical time.
I sort of think this Nature's Prophet is a little bit underfarmed and maybe he has to push lanes a little bit more to open up things on the map for them, but I mean, Mineski, the way that they set up that fight, I can't say enough of what Raging Potato did. It was kind of, I don't think I've seen a move like that, just because usually this hero needs a Blink Dagger to be able to distribute that kind of damage, but with his team fight positioning, when he was behind them, they had no chance to respond, even with the Aegis. Spectre is an Aegis carrier, isn't necessarily the best hero, usually because after his ultimate, the effectiveness of the hero goes down by quite a bit.
This is why, like, in this sort of lineup, the Tusk, his initiation in team fights is so important because you need ways to be able to kind of close the gap or at least stall heroes from retreating away from the Sven. Because at this point, like, he's a hero that no one can really fight with BKB and God Strength. But this is why, like, Raging Potato, he sets up his own initiation, I guess. His initiation in team fights is so important.
Hello, bottom lane.
Ways to be able to kind of close the
Jirax is TPing out already. They don't want to bar of this, so is Matubman.
Because at this point, like, he's a hero that no one can really fight with BKB and God Strength.
Fada's about to get an Axe for himself. I think it's a really good pickup, especially against the Sven, who's going to have the BKB already available, and more importantly, I don't really think there's an item in this Puck-to-Go that would really do more for them in this position, especially with the Spec Haunt. Maybe he goes for a Hex, but I don't think that does nearly as much utility. And right now, when it comes to map positioning, it's kind of even. Mineski kind of feel comfortable to let Liquid funnel into them so far. And Liquid have been known to push the pace. They're immediately going to go for the smoke. Right now, when it comes to map positioning, it's kind of even.
Vash is still sitting behind him. He's got a disruptive, paralyzing cast to throw out. The Aghanim Scepter also completed over on the Invoker. I saw a 9-second BKB on the Sven. Another big thing about that mid fight. That was the first exposure of the 10-second BKB.
He's now got a completed SMY on top of that.
Going that over the Blink Dagger too. Another big thing about that mid fight. That was the first exposure.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Like, you have to understand, like, SNY is still kind of a mobility item. You get the Sage proc, it allows you to stay on that hero. But his biggest issue is still going to be that Axe from Fada. Like, oftentimes you see the reason that Sven is so dominant in the mid game is he's able to get this, like, critical peak and farm before, but his biggest issue is still going to be that Axe from Fada. Like, most the, like, 3 to 5 positions, 3, 4, and 5, are able to get their, like, utility items, like Force Staffs or Ghost Scepters that allow them to kite the Sven during that critical, like, God Strength BKB time. It's many cores usually going to be getting damage items or initiating items. They don't give, usually, the team something that allows them to kite the Sven, but the Ags Puck is actually something that is kind of unique to purely this hero. It finally gives you something that actually stops the Sven. It's just kind of like one of those unique aspects.
Sort of think Mineski, right now they're just getting outwarded. There was at one point the perimeter set up by Liquid when it came to isolating out all the spots that they can go for. At top lane, Mind Control threw down the Sprout. Right now they're just trying to prevent him from denying that.
He just spectral home. They find Vash, he's so low. And the silence from Vada lasted so long until he couldn't get a single ability of no buyback for either the Tusker or the Witch Doctor. As with the Doom over on Raging Potato, there's nothing more he can do. He actually bought the Blink deck because there's no buyback for the
counterback
either. And they lose the Invoker as well. The Deafening Blast, no space created. They'll have to retreat themselves out of here. They did just take out the tier 2 tower, however. So the tier 3 tower will be the counterback.
You notice how they set up that fight too? It's always on the back of this Nature's Prophet, opening up the map for them. When he pushes in that top lane, Mineski feel like they have to send somebody to deal with him. This time they had 2 heroes up there. So then the Spectre Hawk comes in. There's absolutely no way that they can take that fight at that point.
Yeah, there's always going to be heroes like pretty dramatically out of position because they're constantly rotating like that. And heroes like they have like Witch Doctor is a terrible support at dealing with Spectre because you only have paralyzing cask and you're oftentimes like it's just the Spectre alone. So until you have something like Glimmer or something to be able to get away from the Spectre, you're just going to be free food. So it instantly turns into a 4 versus 5. He gets the vision that scouts out all the heroes to allow Fada to be able to get his follow-up initiation. He gets 3-person orb or something like that. And the fight's just over.
What can you do with iPage?
I blog and share what I love.
That's a hard ask for Vash. Like, this guy's right now, like, he's budget gaming. He's 1.3k net worth.
You've already got the Beastmaster and the Invoker.
Reserve time.
And why would you risk little lockdown, Maybe they just need some sort of a core with a stun.
Radiant team.
And the PL instead.
There's also that combo and Wingspan like him.
Complexities turn to
Because Liquid seem to have so much information. They not only have the kind of heroes that give you information between Furion and Spectre, but they also seem to have superior warding. You've got to cut this down somehow, and you're not going to have that many smokes left.
I think it would have been a pretty good option. Right now, they know Liquid should know that they're smoked up, by the way. The main reason for this is just because Nature's Prophet is pushing bottom, and nobody's doing anything about it. Yeah, they're just pinging like crazy. They know for a fact that they're smoked up, and
Fada intentionally moved over, knowing that this was a potential smoke area.
like you're not going to allow a tier 2
They're
tower
going to
to
find
fall
an
like
opening.
this.
Mind control. They're going to come through. The Sunstrike's able to hit mind control. Going to trigger off the mech for Spectre. He's already killed off the Tusker. Will stick with Raging Potato. He needs to
bottom,
get
he's
closer.
gone.
He can't Quelling Blade. Mind control's going to TP out. The blink now actually puts Raging Potato further into the corner. So then he gets doomed up. The Invoker's dying as well. Vada is chasing him over with the orb. Just bouncing himself over that ice wall. Back down to Raging Potato where things have just gone from terrible to worse and disastrous. Mineski will lose 4. And Team Liquid, I think they now have permission to come aboard the Mineski ship.
That's hilarious, but I actually love Rubik versus Sven. Like, if you steal Stormbolt, that's fantastic. If you steal Warcry against the Sven, the big damage dealer, and give all your heroes this big upgraded armor, that's also such a big plus. But obviously, Liquid, it's just been like the last 3 or 4 fights. It all started with what engagement was it? I guess it was Roshan, obviously. That was where this game really turned.
Before that engagement, they were fine, yeah.
Yeah, they were very even. You could even say in some
They
ways
were ahead.
that Mineski were
I
ahead.
thought Mineski was doing really well.
Yep. But eventually that a bad play like that seems to have just kind of cracked.
They just got outmaneuvered in the game. Something I wanted to point out before that top fight ended is
Darkseid should be dead right now. Even with his strength, even with the Greaves, he can't break free of it. And Jules is also going to take a fall. They've got too much to work with. Even Kuro, like, he walked himself up to the dive shop to pick up an Orchid. So they got another level of disable and control over Mineski. If the silence from Fada wasn't enough. BKB, now in comes his men. Nice Stormbolt. Who's he going on? He's thinking about mind control. He actually attacked in to Kuro as well. So the Rubik's down for the count. Say goodbye to Nature's Prophet. But Tupman's still sitting here inside the base. His Spectral Dagger, he can't get himself out straight away. Actually meaning the Tornado was going to fail. Raging Potato blinks forward, Stormbolt available, Matupman will go down. 72 seconds on the sideline, but the buyback comes out from mind control. Potato currently trying to fight as a pig. He won't find his target just yet. And he needs to wait a little second longer as Kuro jumps in, bolts him down, the Sunstrike kicking in, but now Ben Hur, he can't make enough space, he's got the Fusel bladed up, and there's just no hope to fight this. The extra heal wasn't there, the Darkseid only just comes back up again. And Team Liquid have already taken out 2 lanes of Rax and they're looking for their third.
Yeah, you reach a point where
On the back, where's the bolt? Here they come in, finds 2, they need some cleave damage. If they can get a die back right now on Mind Control, it's going to be worth it. The snowball forward, Mind Control can be flipped up right now by the Tusker. And Kuro, he's going to join him as well. 2 heroes down, and Mineski finally hopefully, after their home has been ravaged, will have some level of space to try and repair the damage done by
Yeah,
Liquid.
now they have to go Roshan. The bad thing is, like, Mineski, like, there weren't enough hero kills you could possibly get out of these engagements. Like, even if you got full 5, it still doesn't change the fact that you lost 2 lanes of racks by 30 minutes. But it's something, I guess, to hold on to. They got a couple of kills. They can take Roshan. They can get the Aegis. You know, maybe they can grind their way back into this game. But they're still pretty far out of it.
And can Liquid contest them on this?
I don't think so. They're not going to want to without the Nature's Prophet available either.
It would be so unnecessary, right? They're already so far
well.
ahead. If they fed more kills
They're
into
beating in
Mineski's
the
still
Invoker. G-Rex are too close. He'll actually pick up Shards, but with the paralyzing card's going to bounce over, and Rage Potato already manages to find one. Will they finish off Fada? Nope. He blinks away further up the hillside. He'll Dream Call. Is really delaying this up, but Roshan is still will belong to Mineski. Now Dream Call's on cooldown. Fada is waiting. As Mineski, do they have the ability to jump? They'll Tornado. Phase Shift will dodge once again. Keep on ball with the puck and a
Nice
great back.
timing.
Actually stopping Fada from instantly getting away. He'll orb
don't
himself
let him get
away.
out.
He's on 120 life. They just need to finish the job. The Sunstrike's off target. He blinked down, not to the west, so they can't even pick up Fada.
Oh,
But they do
Ben-Hur.
get Aegis.
That was the right idea too. He took into play that he knew the puck was gonna blink about that time the Sunstrike was gonna go off. It's just the positioning. It was like a 50-50 chance. He was gonna get that. But unfortunately Fada went down instead of left.
I think there was no reason for Liquid to make that play, though.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary. That's the best way to describe that. Just because, yeah, at best, you have a 3v5 engagement against a full 5-man.
The only way you lose this game as Liquid is you make plays like that, where you feed them unnecessary kills. You can let them have Aegis. It's not that
Yeah, it
big
doesn't
a deal.
matter. They can't leave their base.
Wait out 5 minutes. It's still going to be, by 37 minutes, you have 2 lanes of racks and they no longer have the Aegis.
Yeah.
So you're still good.
You just play the game where if you catch them out of position and it's really easy with a lineup that features Nature's Prophet, they're eventually going to get lulled into this rhythm where Liquid doesn't really do anything. Then Mineski says, okay, it's probably safe to push out. That happens 2 or 3 rotations with the creep waves. At some point you get sloppy, and Liquid take advantage of that. But by going for these plays, you just kind of get caught out for no reason, like you said.
So because of this, most likely Liquid are going to slow down the game and we might not see much action. What was the... You wanted to talk about some movement.
Oh, that's what it was. It's just that this is what Nature's Prophet provides me more than anything. It goes down to like a psychological level when you look at Dota. When you push on this top wave, people automatically assume, okay, now it's my turn to push out the wave. And then you continue to push it in. That happens 3 or 4 times with the Nature's Prophet. Then you get lazier and lazier. You don't scout out the area. You don't make sure first, oh, maybe they're trying to set up for a smoke play. You stop thinking about what the enemy team is doing. You kind of just get into this like farming rotation where he pushes the wave, then you push it back.
And even then, there's like some investment cost to even keep in mind when you're going up against them. If you're constantly doing that sort of thing, you're constantly like over-rotating, and you're never actually catching that hero, that means you're actually like, if you look at it from an economical aspect, you're actually coming away the worst every single time because you're just like investing into something that you're not actually catching. So it's kind of like you have to reach this rhythm where you do make those investments and you do catch up with it.
This Spectre, though, he just has to get 6 slotted right now. That is pretty much how Liquid ends this game. Right now, he's not strong enough to fight into that Sven. This is kind of just why Sven, I think, is a pretty good hero against Spectre. Just because you can cut through that 1600 HP really quickly with God Strength up. And the BKB negates the mischance from the Radiance. The burn doesn't really hurt you.
Mineski been hunting for the last minute with Rage Potato as well as Ben-Hur.
Oh yeah, they would love if they somehow got a pick off and then were able to turn that into like 5-man pushing in and forcing a team fight or even just claiming a tier 2 for free.
The
With
warning
Aegis still
spots
in
on the
hand,
top lane
but-
actually gave him something to work with at least.
I mean, it's definitely a pretty decent Furion ward, but mind control is usually going to be 1 step ahead of the game.
Oh, there's your jump. Fada
Nice.
back in again. And the Sunstrike, he still took the damage from it down to 160 life. He'll blink himself away and then the Dream Coil. They can't keep the chase going. He'll orb up into the tree line and TP away to safety. And instantly Kuro tries to apply the pressure in mid, but he'll be picked up a tornado. EMP burned out with the cold snap, but no, the 4-staff gets himself out of range of the EMP.
Liquid are just doing such a good time, or a good job of buying time.
G-Rex though is in trouble. Well, is he? He'll pick up Ocarino.
I mean, it's okay if he dies.
Surgeon forward, Spectral Horns
Even
actually
then.
going to be committed. Now, who do they go on? Is it just looks like it's a space creating ulti?
Yeah, I think Mineski, I think this is the point where you go, right? Spectral was just used. You have limited amount of time on Aegis. It's not like this is a high percentage chance to make something good happen for Mineski, but it's still your best option that I've seen in the last 5 minutes. I think go time is now when the Spectre ult is down.
You can't though. All 3 of your lanes are pushed in.
Yeah,
And
so
if
they
you
have
leave
to
your
like
base-
try and push out the lanes a little bit, and then think about going for the 5-man, but they didn't get the Rubik, so
They have 30 seconds left on Aegis.
I sort of
That's
think
their window.
I think 3 of your lanes
It's
are
too
pushed
late.
in. It's
Yeah.
and
So they
this
have
sounds
to,
like
like,
really
try and
unexciting.
push out the
But
lanes a little
Liquid,
bit. And
it's
then,
so hard
think
for them
about
to
going
lose
for
this
the
game
5-man,
because
but
all
they
3
didn't
lanes
get
are
the
pushing
Rubik,
in at
so
once. That it
They
makes
have
it
30
difficult
seconds
for
left.
Mineski to make these moves.
That's
Like,
they're going
okay,
to.
but here, watch bottom. Bottom lane pushes in. Nobody's dealing with it. Mid lane,
It's like a warning bell.
Yeah,
It's like whoop whoop, like you're pushing in that bottom lane, no one's responding. Warning bells are going off for
Warning
Liquid.
bells
they're
gonna
pinging.
go off
They
right
know.
now on Kuro's head. You've got Fada who actually jumps and gets a double silence, stopping the instant attack at the tomb. It will go off on the Invoker, but there's a lot of rest, a lot of Normanesque players to follow up into the attack. But Tubman's going to try and move over. They actually let him have the double damage rune, allowing him just to beat through one. He'll look for the Invoker with 2 attacks. This is just disastrous for Mineski. They're going to lose 4 heroes again. In fact, T-Rex even with the meatball from the Invoker helps to get that kill. They've lost so many heroes. No buyback on Invoker or Sven.
You know how you really can tell that Liquid knew that was a smoke scenario? You know how they all rotated into the high ground area? That was the first thing they did. And maybe they didn't expect like a full wraparound where like Furo got initiated on, but they knew the general idea.
They saw bottom lane. They're saying nobody's pushing this guy. There's not even a Darkseer shell or anything like that. And that usually just signifies for Liquid. You knew that it was coming just because they were peeing like crazy. They're like, there's obviously something happening right now. Nobody's defending this bottom push. That's why it's so hard when you lose 2 sets of racks, because you always have to worry about this wave.
They just keep that blink dagger on cooldown now. The Death Ball from Fast will do some good work with Tubman caught inside the ice wall. He's going to go down. 103 seconds on the sideline for him. Rage Potato. Now we need to do some kind of work, but he's losing life too quickly. Surrounded by Team Liquid. Ben Hur even dying underneath his own fountain. With these diebacks from Mineski, they just do not have the manpower to repel Liquid anymore. And that is good game. Team Liquid will 2-0 out Mineski here in the first game of Group A.
I think there are some okay things to talk about here for Mineski. I think if you're a Mineski fan, you should feel good about the fact that the first 15 minutes of this game, what was it, 15, 20 minutes, that Mineski were actually either even or ahead versus a team like Liquid. And we talked about the fact that, Liquid is if you look at the charts, maybe the #1 team, just purely for the fact that we know that they're a stable roster and we haven't seen anything from EG or Secret yet, that sort of thing. But you're talking about like one of the best teams in the world right now, and you were even, like, for a good amount of chunk of time or even ahead against them. Yeah, they sort of like fell apart after that. Roshan, it was just bad, turned into worse. But I think there are some like optimistic things to say about Mineski, especially after the big contrast of game #1 where they just got rolled over. Mineski just need to shake off this loss, understand that, yeah, like they're definitely the big underdogs here. So, this is kind of expected, but hopefully they'll be able to learn from this, see some of their mistakes that they made in just this game too. I wouldn't even necessarily look at game 1, just call that a draft problem and move on from there. But just look at this game 2, kind of rerun it and learn, move on. You'll have a better chance against some of these other teams in the group.
I think by far the biggest issue is just there's a time period where Mineski, they got comfortable with the rhythm of the game and they got sloppy. You can't make these kinds of moves against tier 1 teams. I think what ends up happening, especially at that Roche fight, maybe if you play it back with the Darkseer sitting outside, they can establish kind of like a control area where you can filter in heroes into the Roche pit, which is what you want to do. Then maybe that fight goes okay, but Liquid was able to kind of like silence inside the pit and force them in there while they took 2 mini engagements outside. Can't let things like that happen, but still a pretty decent showing, I guess, by Mineski, and Liquid probably walk away from that last game kind of feeling just like, they played pretty sloppy overall, but they kind of walk away with the win.
They played crisp and clean when they had to, but game 1 was a much better example of playing crisp and clean all the way through. Game 2 was definitely some mistakes, but, I'm sure this is just sort of a, guys, come on. Like, we don't need to play that over aggressive.
Well, at the end of the day, the result still goes the way of Team Liquid. They'll go up 2-0. This is now only game of the day. We've got another 3 series coming your way, both the winners matches. So Team Liquid will play again later on in the afternoon. But coming up next here on the stream, it is going to be Team Secret going up against Team Empire. The first showcasing of the Team Secret roster up against, if we want to class them as that, underdogs of Team Empire. That'll be next here on the live stream.